Hi, I'm Betsy Birdsong with the Birdsong Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and I want to talk to you today why it may be smarter to sell your old home before buying a new one. If you own a home and you're ready to move into a bigger and better home, or maybe you're ready to downsize, one of the most important questions to ponder is, do you need to sell your current home first before you buy a new one? So we're going to talk about that. There are many reasons why selling before you buy is what the majority of homeowners do. So the first reason why it might be a good idea is you don't want to risk carrying two mortgages. So of course that seems self-explanatory. In a perfect world, you would like to buy a new house, move into the new house, and then put the old house up for sale. It does make things a whole lot easier, but it's not realistic for most people. They just can't do it because they don't have enough savings to carry two mortgages at the same time. So usually the best course of action is that you need to sell your current home first. Number two, the second reason is that you can't qualify for two mortgages. Sometimes I'll have sellers tell me, well, they have enough money, that they could carry two notes, pay on two mortgages, maybe for 6 months. So they may think they can do it, but the bank or the lender looks at things a little bit differently. So to buy a home before you sell it, the one that you own, you either need to have cash on hand or you're going to have to qualify for two mortgages. The lender's not going to just look at the fact that you're going to be selling the other house. They actually are going to take both of those mortgage payments. They're going to take that debt to income ratio, and it's going to have to fit the criteria that the lender has for you carrying both of those, because they're not going to make the assumption that you're going to sell your current home eventually. Let's say something happens and you can't sell it. So the lender's not going to take the risk. They want to be sure that worst case scenario, you can't sell your first home, that you're going to be able to support both mortgages. So most people really can't do that. Okay, the number three reason is if you're buying in a competitive market. In some real estate markets, people are kind of climbing all over each other to get their hands on the most desirable properties. Now, you may think, well, I don't think things are moving that quickly here in the New Orleans area. So what I would say is, in some areas in the New Orleans area, they're not moving that quickly. And in other areas, they are moving that quickly. It really depends on the location, and it depends on the house and the price of the house, because we definitely have some pent up demand here in certain neighborhoods and at certain price points. And when those houses come on the market, it is still like a feeding frenzy, and people come out of the woodwork and we still have multiple offers. So here's the thing. If you haven't already sold your home and you can't afford to buy another one and still keep the first one, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to write a contingency offer. And if that particular house has got a lot of demand for it, then the seller is not really going to be excited about your contingency offer that you have another home to sell. So they would rather take an offer from someone who doesn't have to sell another home. Okay, another situation is if you're selling in a sluggish market, which some areas here and some neighborhoods and some price points are getting a little bit sluggish. So if your present home's in an area that's not exactly selling like hotcakes, then again, that's another reason that you want to sell first. It could take a long time. You don't want to be left with two mortgages. You might not get the sales price you want. So there's kind of a lot of unknowns. So I think even if you can afford to do the two, you really need to decide if your home that you're living in right now is in an area and a price and a home that is probably going to sell pretty well. So you have to think about that. And I actually think the best thing that you can do is get a real estate professional involved and let them talk to you about how things are moving in the neighborhood in which you live, and then also kind of look at the market as a whole. All right, the number 5 reason why it might be a good idea to sell your home before you buy is you're just not ready to commit. You might want to get the feel of a new neighborhood or a new community before you actually make the decision to buy. It's a big commitment. So that's another good reason to sell your current home and then find a temporary place to live. And when I say temporary, I mean it could be moving in with other people, but the other is a short-term situation, a 3-month rental, a 6-month rental. While there are not a lot of those out there, it is possible to do those things. So again, you want to protect yourself when you're selling first. If you're selling your home before buying, but you want to potentially avoid having to rent between 2 homes, then one of the things that you could consider is doing it's called a lease back. And so you put that in your offer for the second home that you would like to lease back the new home. Lease back the other home until you sell, so that you're not having 2 places to live. So those are all the things to think about. So one of the things that I would strongly tell you to do is if you're selling and buying and you're trying to do them almost simultaneously, it is really important to use an experienced agent. There is a lot of stress on everybody to do that all together, including the agent. So I strongly urge you to pick an agent to work with that has experience doing these and understands the importance of all of the different pieces of selling and buying and all of that kind of thing. So we at the Birdsong Group definitely have experience. We'd love to help you. Reach out to me, my team, and my number is 504-376-7650, and we look forward to hearing from you.